this correctly. So when it says government supports, is that government providing money to do it? What does that mean? They don't support us enough. What does that mean?
Yeah, if we take a further look at our survey, we will know that support is a vague concept. What they say the support from, because I can tell the difference based on the survey. We also have an interview. When we take the interview, we conduct the interview, we ask kind of these questions. So we will say, what is the support from the central government? They give money? They have any policy, specific policy support for Guangzhou? Or they have some land quote preference because there is a land quote, they have to limit the land using every year. So what kind of the specific support? And frustrated. I got a frustrating answer. Frustrating answer is they mainly say the central government only issues the policy. So the support mainly the policy. They ask you to do that, so that means the support. So if we further interpret the government support, we will say in the state level or we say the central level, it's not the real support. It's just promote.
Because and I want you to correct me and make sure I'm interpreting this right. So the central government gives the direction. I think it's interesting how different the provincial is, because it looks like to me like provincial level doesn't care, they don't want anything to do with it, but there is support at the municipal level. But then it's the municipal level that doesn't want to do it, even though they say they support.
Because
that's interesting.
Yes, that's a very good question. In these arguments, maybe I will change it. This is not the government support. It's the role of the affordable housing policy. So basically, the state or the central government and the municipal government will play the major role on affordable housing. So that's why we say, in the sentence we say play efforts on these two parts, play the efforts on promoting affordable housing. The provincial government just forward the central guidelines.
Yeah, they just send it in an email and say do it.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of the way they do in China, based on my research.
I have a question about the interest rate. For example, if the Chinese government, the U.S. is raising interest rate and is projecting more increases down the road.
Yes.
And how much the interest rate hike will affect the housing market with the sector being allocated to the affordable housing? For example, if there are more interest rate hikes, and would that affect the market and also the affordable housing market too?
Definitely, if the interest rate high, they will affect the housing market because many people cannot afford a mortgage. They have to go back to another option. They can purchase it, right? That's kind of like the common sense. We know that. But what they will affect the affordable housing or this kind of the problem of the other option. When we talk about it, if we can purchase a house, what will we do? What will we do? Rent, right? Rent a house. And even we can rent a house, we can afford it. What will we do? We have to take kind of the affordable housing.
But in other words, it will be more competitive for these units. That means the demand for affordable housing will be shooting up too.
It will shooting up if the market going heated because of the interest rate. Yeah, actually that's the way happens in China for some cases, but not the interest rate. They have we say the purchase quote. Every local family can only purchase one house in the cities. Only local families. If you're not the local residents, you can purchase it. But you have to work in that cities. What will you do? You have to rent. or you have to pay off the house. That's not the easy way, right?
Yeah.
Always million house. How can people can pay million house at one time? So they have to go back to find another options. This is one of the main options they can. And the city right now is trying to expand the coverage to the, we say the migrants, the rural to urban migrants, on the affordable housing programs. Because that's different between the US and China in terms of migration. Because in the US, we just move from city to cities, from New York to San Francisco to Dallas, because of the living cost, because of the housing price, because of the opportunities. But in China, we still moving from the majority of migration is from the rural area to the urban areas. So they would not that easy to go back to the rural area, because that area, that place a lack of opportunities. If they go back, they cannot earn the salary as much as what they would, even the labor, the hard labor in the urban area, in the cities. So when they move in these cities, they may try their best to stay in the cities.